We're joined by Elizabeth Troutman Mitchell. She's a White House correspondent for the Daily Signal. Well, thanks for giving us your time.
Thanks so much for having me.
So let's start with the Daily Signal. How do you describe it to other people?
The Daily Signal is a multimedia news outlet. We're covering policy, Congress, now the White House. We have a website, a YouTube presence, and we're so excited to be able to expand our reach to covering the White House in the past few months.
And this is because recent changes by the administration put in new outlets into the White House. How has that benefited you?
It's been wonderful for the Daily Signal because the Daily Signal's hard pass was actually revoked during the Biden administration, along with around 440 other journalists. So it's so great to have the opportunity to be back. I think that everyone can agree that there have been a lot of press briefings, a lot of access for members of the media across the spectrum. And so it's been really great to have opportunities to ask questions of the press secretary, attend White House events, and even ask questions from the president.
How much direct access do you get to key administration officials now being back into the White House?
I think that there have been so many opportunities to ask questions of numerous officials. They're doing gaggles outside the White House. Often there are press conferences where we can speak to various officials. So I think that I've found the access to be very good so far.
Because of the nature of your publication, do you find that it's more difficult to get access, easier to get access? How would you describe that?
I think that it's something that has been a really great change for more new, less traditional media outlets, that the White House has a new media seat in the briefing room and has a new media spot on Pool, because I've gotten the opportunity to be on Pool, whereas previously I would have been less likely to be able to do that. It's great to be able to have the opportunity to be on Pool and even to have had the opportunity to travel with the president.
When you talk to others in the reporting pool, now that you're a part of it, how do you think they perceive you and your publication?
I think that the relationship between the new media and the legacy media has largely been pretty friendly. I think that we all are working for a similar goal of covering the president. Of course, we are standing, the new media is standing to the side and don't have seats, so we're not interacting constantly, but I think that the relationship is pretty good. What's
been your experience reporting? You talked a little bit about the day-to-day, but what stands out as far as something special now being in the White House and doing the reporting that you're doing?
I think that the highlight for me was definitely getting to go on Air Force One and getting to talk to the president on the plane. There's just been so many opportunities to ask the president questions that the press are getting on the daily basis, and so that's just such an honor and an incredible privilege for the press.
If you talked a little bit about your publication, and could you clarify this for me? I think one time the Daily Signal was associated with the Heritage Foundation. Can you explain that?
Yes, the Daily Signal was founded by the Heritage Foundation around 10 years ago, but it went independent in June. So for about the past year, we've been an independent news outlet.
And so, just to clarify, do you get any input from the Heritage Foundation itself as far as what you report on?
No, I think that the Heritage Foundation experts, of course, have a lot of expertise on policy issues, so sometimes I will talk to them to get more information, more details on policy so that I can understand it better, but no.
When you talk and when you determine what you want to cover, Elizabeth Troutman Mitchell, what drives you? What determines what you want to cover on any single day at the White House?
I think that this administration, of course, has been so news-packed. There's just something new happening every single day. I'd say I'm particularly interested in covering the education, immigration, social issue type of things. There's been a lot going on with those topics in the White House, but of course just covering everything this administration is doing is more than a full-time job.
Part of the reporting team now at the White House, the Daily Signal's Elizabeth Troutman Mitchell joining us. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me.